Hey guys, Guy Level here, and you probably noticed that I haven't been posting much lately. With everything that's going on, I'll admit that it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm exhausted physically and mentally, mostly mentally. I'm not gonna lie, and I appreciate every single one of you that reached out to me, asking me how I'm holding up and stuff like that. In the grand scheme of things, I'm fine. I'm just fine. I don't live in the United States. I'm not American. Um, but yeah, of course, everything that I'm seeing on social media has had a huge impact on my mental health. I've unfollowed a couple of people because of what they were posting, and everyone seems to be making this whole thing a black and white situation, where in fact there's a lot of nuances. And one of my greatest fears, and the thing that make me not really want to speak up right now, is the aftermath of this. I fear that people will go back to business as usual, and will only um get up and take a stance when death is involved, when in fact racism has so many nuances that, well, we black people, we go through every single day. And I don't know, it kind of hurts to see that people are acting as if they just discovered this new hashtag that's trending, and oh, racism is a thing. Yes, it's been a thing, and of course the death of George Floyd is a cause of that, but it's not just that. And I guess that's the message that's what I want to say today. Is I make my videos to help people become content creators. And basically I try to tell people, hey, be creative, believe in yourself. I try to go against all the preconceived notions that you've been taught since you were a kid, that makes you think less of yourself than you actually are. Society has this weird way of making you feel like trash, no matter what color you are. You're just educated, in movies, in the media, and in ads everywhere. They really profit off of you doubting yourself and almost hating yourself. So my whole goal with my channel is to fight against that and give power to the anyone who's creative and wants to do content creation as an actual career. But there's something that I try to keep out of my content, something that I never mention, because sometimes I use myself as an example, because I am this example. I don't want to be a role model, but I'm definitely an example. I am someone who has never been to university. I don't have any diplomas. I I came from a third world country. I moved to France, and then now I make a living off of my content, my creations, and it's amazing. And I never thought that would be possible. And obviously, it's thanks to you guys. But I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anyone. On the contrary, I'm telling you that if I can do it, you can do it too. Because men, there's like the odds were not in my favor at all. And this is the thing that I never mentioned, is how the color of my skin has impacted my career. Of course, I want to be some sort of inspiration for everyone. But of course, black folks that see me, I want them to know that, hey, if I'm up there, you could be up there with me. Don't let your preconceived notions stop you from even trying. And a couple of months ago, I received a message. And, I give stuff for free. I give advice. I get a lot of comments every day saying that they appreciate what I'm doing for the community. And it was one of those messages. And I was reading it like every other message, which I really appreciate. And it said, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing for the community. And it's cool to see that, you're gaining subscribers. You're actually becoming a voice in the community, especially for people of our skin complexion, basically. And they were saying basically that it gave them more hope that I was succeeding. because it showed them that someone who looks like me can succeed. And I cried. I actually cried because it's the first time that um I've even thought about it. I didn't start this to be like a voice for the to represent my skin color. I've always left my skin color out of it. Um, but the thing is, if you're, I mean, like the message that I want to give is like I'm gonna say a couple of things that will affect your career if you are black, and I want of course, anyone that is not black in my audience to listen because you might not know it. Why? Because honestly, you might not know it about me because I don't tell you that, because in the past I didn't want to tell you all of this. I don't want to tell you all the things that I go through because of my skin color, because I don't want it to be a factor. I wish it wasn't a factor at all. I wish that people would see me just like they see other creators. I'm someone who's considered one of those people giving tips for Twitch, like giving Twitch advice, right? And I'm often tagged into tweets saying, hey, this person helped me, and there's usually like 5, 6, 7 people who are doing it at this level on YouTube, and I'm kind of the only person of color that's doing it. But I've never let that obscure my vision at all. So do I get racist comments? And when I started, did I think that I was gonna get racist comments? Yes and yes. To this day, I still get racist comments. I get comments that are slightly racist, and I get comments that are straight up, the N-word, mention slavery, and telling me to go back to whatever. People mentioning green card. I'm not even American. I'm French. I was born French. I was never not French, but whatever. I get those messages a lot. And before starting, I was hesitant. 3 years ago, I was hesitant because I thought that if no one who looks like me was at the top, it's because they didn't want people who look like me at the top, right? I never thought that I would become a voice, or that I would even grow a following, because I thought that, hey, they don't want that kind of person. I'm not gonna lie, I would compare myself to the other creators, who are non-black creators, and I would look at them and I would be like, oh yeah, that, this person has everything that I don't have. They're practically rich, privileged. Maybe that's what people want. That's who people want to hear their advice from. Maybe I don't matter because I'm that black kid who isn't privileged at all, who started literally from the bottom. And I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong, because I mean, I'm still not the best. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't include all of those things in my videos because I did not want people to be as hesitant as I was 3 years ago, right? You have this weird paranoia. You have everything going through your mind when you're starting your journey as a content creator. And this is really the main obstacle that's going to stop you from even trying in the first place, or giving it a fair try. When I first started streaming on Twitch, I got loads of racist trolls. To this day, I still get them. My last YouTube live stream here, which was about a month ago, was a total disaster. In the span of 25 minutes, I had to ban about 20 people for racist comments and homophobic comments. I'm not even gay, but I will not tolerate homophobic comments either. Like, and also my sexuality shouldn't matter either, just like my skin color. So yeah, on top of the obvious trolling, there's also this weird nuance in racism that is kind of like the denial of talent, I call it, is when you will do something and then someone who doesn't look like you will do something of equal creativity, we'll say equal creative prowess, and this person will be praised for it, like they were the like a genius, like they were God, like they invented it. But you will be like, oh, okay, that's cool, you know. And because of that, it forces you, if you're a black person, it forces you to be extra, you know. It makes you think that if I'm not extra, I can't, it's not enough to be good. It's not enough to be good. You have to be amazing. And that's why you will see a lot of, you know, content creators or super black content creators will be super extra, because that's what we have to do in order to be noticed or even respected. And even then, you know, I've cut down on reading comments on my videos recently, because like the amount of like abuse pretty much like I get in the comments, and everyone gets it, but it's often related to my skin color. And what was I saying? Yeah, the denial of skills, unfortunately, is something where you will make something where you think, oh, this has to go viral because of how creative I've really like surpassed myself. I no one's done this before. This should be amazing. And then you realize, well, not really. We're not gonna retweet it. And it makes you think, is why, you know, why? And I guess like ultimately that's the message that I want non-black people, my non-black followers out there. I want you guys to be more aware of everything that's going on around you. But every little nuance that puts black people at a disadvantage in this system that we have, you know, we're in, like a movie like Black Panther shouldn't cause controversy. What? Out of every superhero movie, out of every movie in general that has ever been made featuring all white cast, why was there controversy around Black Panther? Why was there controversy around having a black stormtrooper? Why is this still a thing? And we need to call out those people. There was controversy about like the flame guy in Fantastic Four being black. If you find yourself saying things like forced diversity, which is something that is so stupid, straight up, so stupid. Forced diversity? You mean realism, inclusivity? Just because, oh, this guy is black because or this woman is black, because forced diversity, it's just realism. You want to know why? Because you're watching a black guy talk right now. I am a black person and my group of friends. If there was a movie and that group of friends was represented and I was a black guy, would you say that's forced diversity? No, that's inclusivity. That's realism. Especially if it's an American movie. You know, Asians, blacks, Latino, like there's so much to go through. And I can't put it in words. Unfortunately, I don't have all the solutions, and that's like my biggest issue. Is I wish I can be like, if we do this, everything's gonna be okay. The only thing that I think that we can do, and again, it's not about shaming. I don't want you to feel guilt if you're white or if you're just non-black. I don't want you to feel guilt. I just want you to open your eyes. You know, someone will make a thread on Twitter and be like, oh, who was your celebrity crush when you were younger? And everyone will scroll down and type their celebrity crush. That's nothing, right? And then someone like me, I'm scrolling down and I'm like, oh, wow, that's weird. There's only white people. Should the people who posted feel guilty? Absolutely not. But should you realize what's going on and understand how the system is really designed to have us as a separate group? That's all I want you guys to see. There is this weird paranoia. If you're black, you know what I'm talking about. There is this weird paranoia that is healthy and also unhealthy. It's healthy because it might save you. It might save your life. It might just save you from awkward situations. And it's unhealthy because we shouldn't have to have that paranoia in the first place, right? If I'm walking into a store and if you're my friend, you'll see me, I pull out my hands from my pockets. Okay. I'll never have my hands in my pockets if I'm inside a store. There's a lot of little things like that. I'll be extra friendly to little old white ladies in the street because maybe just maybe this little old white lady would be like, wow, that black guy was super friendly to me. Maybe they're not. Maybe I should stop hating them for no reason, right? I have so many anecdotes about, you know, just the color of my skin. I've been questioned, you know, being stopped is just part of it. It's just part of it. When I was in the south of Italy, people were telling me, hey, don't go to the south of Italy. It's racist. And I was like, no, it's not that bad. But then I think about it. I'm like, I was with a friend back then. She wouldn't get stopped ever. But bus drivers would go out of their way to come see me and tell me, hey, do you have your ticket? Or just stop me from getting in the bus and be like, show me your ticket. You know, when everyone is just getting on, no problem. It's hard not to get sidetracked. There's so much more of it. On Twitch, there is a constant abuse against visible minorities and you know, women, LGBTQ plus people, and black people. Sometimes I think about it. I'm like, wow, if only Twitch would stand against racism the way Twitch seems to hate titties for some reason. And I'm not substituting. That's just a kind of like funny way of saying it. You shouldn't be hating on titties. What's wrong with you? But the thing is, there's outrage when a woman does something on Twitch. There's huge outrage. Everyone, freaking Keemstar, who doesn't even stream on the platform, has something to say. But, you know, some Fortnite player will drop the N-bomb, letting all of his friends, letting us know that he uses it on a regular basis. And, you know, the youth, I sound old now. The youth is learning that, hey, N-word is funny, right? There's no outrage there. Quite the opposite, actually. Because when you read the comments, it's like, dude, honest mistake, bro. It's not a mistake at a young age to drop N-bombs. It's not a mistake. It's horrible education. And it's being passed on again. And I must admit that for someone like me, it makes me completely desperate. Because when you live through, like, when you see two generations, you interact with two generations and you're like, okay, that's fine. This hate, hopefully it will pass with the newer generations. And then you see, you know, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. Now, like, the whole humor is completely based on, hey, N-word, ha ha ha. It makes someone like me completely desperate, because I feel like, oh, I will never live to see the day that I am considered part of the norm. Even though I don't do anything that should make me different, you know? I live my life just like you. Especially if we're talking about Twitch, I stream, I play video games. We enjoy the same things. Why am I different? Why am I getting comments about slavery or being a monkey or going back to Africa or whatever that shit is? And I don't share that shit. I don't. No, I'm just cursing. I don't share that stuff. I don't share it with anyone. I don't really know anyone that I would feel comfortable sharing, because it's hard. You know, I have a lot of most of my friends are white, I would say. And I give them hints, you know, I let them know, hey, this is how I experience the world, right? And sometimes they understand. It makes them sad. And sometimes they just plain old don't understand. Like social situations where I wouldn't place myself there because of my skin color, because it can turn really bad. They're like, wait, what do you mean? But on the other case, if they understand it makes them sad, and I'm, you know, I don't want people to throw me a pity party. I just want to be friends. I don't want to be that guy who has a horrible life or whatever. And that's just how it is, unfortunately. But it does need to change. And I need to wrap up this video. I'm just rambling at this point. I think the message is racism is not something that exists only when there's a trending hashtag. Racism is not something that only exists when someone dies. Being racist, I don't even like saying like being racist, because I feel like most people would not admit that they're racist unless they're extreme. But racism in general, I need you to understand that it's part of the system, you know, and it is not paranoia to say that the system is designed to keep Black people down. It's not paranoia. It's not some weird conspiracy theory. It is really like that. I just want you, everyone, to open their eyes and see all the nuances, because you've never been in a job interview where people pretty much straight up tell you that you don't look like who they would want to hire, right? And although like I cannot give examples without giving examples about interaction with the police, and I have my stories too, you know. I won't tell them because they're not relevant, but the idea of the system that really brings you down in every aspect of it. It's not just the extreme racist that does that. It's really so many nuances. I don't know much about like American history and stuff like that, but you know, poverty in Black neighborhoods and it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. People seem to think that Black people moved in and made it poor. It didn't work like that. Please learn history, and my American friends, open your eyes to the whole world. Like, see the big picture. See the big picture, learn your history, and see the big picture. There's a lot of things that I believe are messed up with America, and that Americans just don't admit to it. Why? Because like in their education, they were like best country in the world. No. And I'm not comparing you to any other country when I'm saying that. I live in France. I would want to say that France is better, but truth is, people die from police brutality here too. Racism is so well established here that I've never had a job in my whole life since I moved here in France. I've never ever had a job where I didn't get racist jokes. Like, it is very established here too. We're not that better. Okay? This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I wish more people were educated about like social issues. And if you're not Black, just ask a Black person. Just ask a Black person. Right now on Twitter, everyone is sharing everything they can. Everything they see on Twitter, they share it. They don't care about who are actual cloud chasers, who are doing this to profit themselves. What is misinformation being spread? No one cares. Everyone is so focused on showing the world that they're not racist that they just share. And it's hard to figure out who's genuine and who's not, where it's coming from. Are they going to keep posting, or do they fight against racism? Do they understand systemic racism, etc.? You don't know. This is why I don't talk, because I don't want to feed, or I don't want to be part of the problem at all. But here's the thing. Ask yourself, I work at this place. There's literally no Black people here. Why? Just ask yourself. Don't feel guilty. Don't be ashamed. Well, if you want to be ashamed. But that's not what I'm trying to tell you. I just want you to open your eyes. If you start asking yourself questions, You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. You'll realize what's happening, and you will be part of the solution and not the problem. Many times we tell people, we hide behind that shield of, oh, it's just a white dude. He never thought about that social problem. And I get that. Obviously, every 17-year-old white dude does not sit down weekly thinking about social issues and how they would, and their responsibility, especially if they're a big content creator, and how they, I get that. I understand that. But there's a certain point where I want people I want those things to be common facts. I want everyone that's growing up, that needs to be part of their education. And I'm not just talking about school. I'm talking about common knowledge, right? If a big celebrity, if the most subscribed YouTuber, drops the N-word in a hateful way, this shouldn't happen. This should not happen at all, especially if you have all that power. And I found myself defending those people too. And then I realized, no, when are we going to stop making excuses? And I'm not saying repercussions or go with torches or whatever. I just want you, the viewer, the person backing them up or defending them like I used to do, to open your eyes and realize how fucked up it is. That shouldn't be an issue at all. Anyways, I don't know if I got my message across. I don't know if I used the right words, but I felt like I needed to say something, and there it is. There it is. I believe that's not all I have to say. Let's not kid ourselves here. That's absolutely not all I have to say. That's 1% of maybe what I had to say. TLDR, racism is not just death, okay? Racism is not just being a Klans member and swearing and shouting at black people and throwing the N-bomb left and right. That's not what racism is. Way bigger than that, as way more nuanced than that. And just like you are outraged about the death of George Floyd, I wish with all my heart that you will see those nuances and you will do your best maybe to change it later on, so that all of this will not be for nothing. And yeah, I will put some links in the description if you want to support the cause. But ultimately, yeah, just know that being a content creator of color is harder. It's harder. I know there are certain words that make people feel bad immediately. If you mention white privilege, it people feel that you're trying to shame them or you're trying to guilt them. It's not the case. We're trying to open your eyes. We're just trying to open your eyes. Put yourself in our shoes for once. Put yourself in our shoes. I've had videos where I was wondering, should I put my face in the thumbnail? Maybe I will get less clicks because of the color of my skin. Because maybe people out there, maybe the masses out there, don't want to watch content from someone who looks like me. Or maybe they'll put me in a box and think, oh, this is probably going to be in a video, an Indian video, or this dude probably has an accent, or it's horrible. It's just horrible. So to my fellow black creators, you can do it. You maybe you have to work 1,000 times more than the average Joe that does the mediocre job and gets praised for it. But you can do it though. And you can celebrate that. But there's 1,000 other things that you're gonna go through. that I'm sure your fellow white creators or non-black creators will never experience or even understand. If somehow you watch that video and you feel offended and you feel like I'm shaming you or whatever, like that's fine. Unsubscribe. Don't comment on my videos. Don't come watch my Twitch. Don't download my free stuff. You can't. Don't support me. That's fine. That's completely fine. Some people thought that I didn't want to talk because I didn't want to lose subscribers. I built this channel from the ground up with no help. I can do whatever I want with it. I have sponsors. If they don't back up, like if they don't like the fact that I'm telling my experience of being black, well, they can fuck off too. But I doubt that's the case. I think it'll be all Gucci. Once again, go out there. Make me proud. If I can do it, you definitely can do it. Gotta level out.